Welcome back to Wrapped.
Going on, guys?
I am your host, Colton Hindleiter, and I'm here once again with my co-host.
My name's Ryan Key.
That's right. And we are here to talk about the most recent and newest in music, usually. However, this episode, we're going to cover a little bit of the new releases from this previous week, which would be anything released between June 20th and June 26th. But then the rest of the episode, we're actually going to pivot, and we've actually done something else. We've built a playlist, which has a concept behind it. And it was an idea. It was first suggested by Ryan. So I'm actually going to let you talk about that and like what your thinking was behind that.
Okay, so essentially we created a playlist together. It's 40 songs, about 2.5 hours of just songs that we think could like calm everyone down and like put everyone in a good like little headspace. They're not all necessarily feel good songs, but they are all songs that it's called Wrapped Chill, and we're gonna post it at some point. But they're all songs that just kind of relax. They're like summer cookout, like chilling with people, like out on your porch on a Sunday morning sometimes. No, Easy Like Sunday Morning is not on the playlist. I had a very long debate with myself about making that one of my songs I added, but I decided not to. And it was just something that, because I like music that of all sorts, and I think it'd be cool for just, and also a lot of these songs are songs that we listen to just by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a couple songs like the Mansion song. There's a Troy Boy track on there that I listen to like twice a day, at least. And so it was really cool. And I was like, I feel like everybody just needs a little chill in their life, with all of everything that's going on right now. So that's the gist of why I wanted to create it. I also just like making playlists in my free time. So that was the other part of it.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun to like take that concept and then think of, okay, 20 songs, go for it. And it was at times, at first was easy, and it was like, okay, cool, we're just adding stuff.
I could put this on here. Then you started running out of songs, didn't you?
Yeah, like you start running out of songs, and then you're also debating because you're thinking of like an whole like album, like, oh, this whole album sounds chill. I'm trying to find the one song that sounds chill the whole time. It doesn't sound like something else may come into it or whatever, or the best track for that artist. It was hard, but I enjoyed that.
Songs that like started really chill and then just went nuts, and I was like, oh, this was so close. We were so close to being good.
Agreed. There was a lot of songs. I'm like, oh, this artist is chill. I start listening. I'm like, this song is only like half chill. So yeah, it was hard, but I liked it. And we also like, we got to like make this playlist and like discover other songs that I'm like, I've never heard this before. Or like, oh, this came back from college or whatever. It was cool to bring that back.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyways, we'll get into that here in just a little bit. We are first just going to, as I said, go over a couple of some new releases. So I just have a little 4-piece thing that I need to cover with you to see, what your thoughts are on these things, because I think they're relevant to both of us. The first one is going to be this "What's Poppin' remix by Jack Harlow.
Yo, it exceeded my expectations.
It really did.
It was so good. Jack Harlow gave us a brand new verse, which a lot of people are like, oh, it's just a remix. I'm not going to put. He put a brand new verse, and he just started like before even the beat really starts. He's like, he just in it. And I was like, let's go. I like how they reworked the chorus a little bit, like, and just like kind of move the beat around underneath it. I thought that was cool. So it feels super like a remix. I knew Lil Wayne was gonna be last because you put the goat of your song last. I was very impressed. I was nervous to see what he was gonna do, just because like I haven't liked everything that he's released recently, and so having him kill this verse was awesome. It will never cease to be amazed by how good of a rapper Tory Lanez is. Just in general.
Yeah.
Because like I always know him as that singing dude, but he can really rap.
Really rap, yeah.
And like I was happy that DaBaby came on here and DaBaby. There was that one moment that when he switches his voice up, and I was like, what in the 64.5 AR is going on here? But it was just like, that was shout out to No Life Shack for that, because I was like, I don't know what that sounded like. And then I was watching his reaction video to it, and he's like, this sounds like 645 AR, the mosquito rapper, as I like to call him. but it was really good. I think Jack Harlow's going to do big things from here on out. I'm really
Yeah.
sad that his show at Saturn got canceled.
Yeah, I am too. I really wanted to go to that tour with
That
him
would
and
have been
Guap
a
Dad.
lot of fun.
In your opinion, besides Jack, who had the best verse?
Tory Lanez.
Wow. Okay. And it's so funny because before going into that, you were like, you felt like I think Tory was gonna disappoint you.
Yeah. Well, like like I said earlier, I don't see him as Tory Lanez as a rapper.
Yeah.
Even despite like the whole Joyner Lucas like rap off beef that happened, I still like it's hard for me to think of Tory Lanez as a rapper when I know him as like the everyone falls in love sometimes. No copyright. Like there's like I see him as that guy, like that R&B guy, but he can really rap, and I feel like it's cool, which is also like what sets him apart from guys like Ty Dolla $ign. People like don't necessarily rap, but just kind of sitting there singing back, and I think it's really cool that he can do both so well.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, that's cool. Like personally, I feel like the Baby had the best verse because he honestly really impressed me, and he switches flows, and then that mosquito voice honestly really worked for me.
It did. Like it works in the song. I was just taken by surprise by it a little bit.
Yeah. So that was cool. And then this new Bring Me the Horizon song. Thoughts?
I love it.
It's really good. Yeah.
So good. And it's
so
heavy.
Good.
It's like heavy again. Like I didn't expect them, especially after Ammo. I didn't, and like you can never expect this band to do anything because they just won't, or they'll plan on doing something and then just switch it up. I did not expect him to like get that like again. It wasn't like old Bring Me the Horizon where it was like screaming and like it was not Diamonds Aren't Forever, but it was like it was some of the heaviest music that they've made recently, and like beyond like Sugar Honey Iced Tea from Ammo, which is the heaviest song on that project. This one like upped it again, and it's so good. Did you watch the video?
I haven't yet, but I'm planning.
The video is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
That doesn't surprise me.
In my life. It's so good though, but it is so strange.
Yeah, I mean the cover art in itself kind of gives
it's
you
a
that
really
illusion.
good video, but it's weird.
All right, well, I'm gonna watch that. Yeah, the song was great. I'm glad they're.
He yells. It's not necessarily a scream, but he just gives us, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah.
But it was cool. I will never not like anything that this band does.
Yeah, I agree. They're very good. So that was cool and a nice little surprise.
Oh, okay. Yes.
This new 6-piece Hot by Black.
Next week I only have 4 things to talk about now because I was gonna hit this too. Dude, he doesn't miss.
He doesn't miss. It's very good. It's very good.
Also, Lil Baby is now charging $100,000 a feature.
Oh, really?
Honestly, I would pay that. After hearing this verse and Bigger Picture and just like I did a deep dive into the Lil Baby this week, and I still get the names mixed up. I'm so sorry, but I did a deep dive into Lil Baby this week, and his music is just good.
It is good.
Like I've like really like had to go back and like check myself on like things I've said about him in the past where I was like I just kind of discounted him. But all of these songs were so good.
They were good. I liked all of them. I also just love the concept of it. It's just like the 6-piece Hot. He did the hot sauce thing that he released with it. It's literally songs. It's supposed to just kind of hold you over. Like it was cool. Do you have a favorite song off of this yet?
On My Rights, with Lil Baby. That one or Long Nights.
Yeah, I'm torn. I don't know. I really like Outside. And I really like Float. I like all of them, so it's hard.
Somebody described him as the Atlanta T-Pain, as like the grimy Atlanta T-Pain, and I agree with that.
That's kind of fair. He has like this like grimy R&B kind of raps here and there.
Make a bad song, like I'm not like just like I've never heard a T-Pain song I haven't liked. I've never heard a Black verse that I just don't like.
Yeah. Very good. So that was impressive. And then lastly, have you listened to this new G-Eazy project that he finally released?
I did.
What'd you think?
I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to.
Same, yeah.
I was not gonna lie, I went in just prepared to hate it. Just being completely honest. I'm not gonna like this. And I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it's my favorite thing he's done.
Agreed, yeah.
I think it was this 2017 album.
Beauty and the Damned?
yes, I think that is still my favorite project that he's done. Um, just because I feel like that album just was him like at his best.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of took. I feel like that album kind of took the kind of enjoyment I had of like songs like I Mean It and took them to a whole other level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this, I feel like it was good to watch him branch out. Um, and I guess this is the year of rappers branching out. But I enjoyed it. I won't say like I'm not gonna say I loved it because there was times where I was like, huh, okay, this is what we're doing now. We got Young Mayor in here.
Young Mayor.
Uh, but I thought it was good. I thought it was cool. I enjoyed it. I'm probably not gonna listen to it like consistently, but I'll probably revisit it at some point. I still need to grade it, so I'll probably go back in a couple of weeks and let it like sit for a minute, and then come back and listen to it and grade it. But I enjoyed it. What did you think?
Yeah, I just graded it. I'm very confident in its place. I think its place on my list reflects exactly how I feel about it, which is pretty much. Yeah, I feel about it how you feel about it. Where I don't like it's not bottom. I don't hate it, but it's not like something. And maybe because it's not his bag, that it's not gonna be top 20. Maybe not even top 30. But
I think it's definitely gonna be my top 40. I think
40 or 50, I think for sure.
It's not like it wasn't groundbreaking for me.
Yeah, I agree. And this is an interesting point to think about. Similar to how I said last year, if Kendrick Lamar didn't come out Black Panther the album, Beyonce's Lion King the Gift would have been much higher. If Logic did not come out with Supermarket, this album would be higher.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of that vein of like, this is like the third or fourth release of like a rapper recently who has totally pivoted and done a sort of kind of rock, kind of instrumental leaning project. Never been bad. It's just like, I don't know. Is it becoming desaturated? Who knows? I enjoyed it. It's fun to listen to. And I will say there are some bangers on there.
Inevitable comparisons to Tickets to My Downfall that this is going to get.
Ooh, yeah, that's a great point. I think Tickets to My Downfall, though, as we said before, because his alignment of he's made songs like that before. Yeah. He's been very vocal about like I love rock and everything like that, and I play guitar. It's gonna blow this out the water just because like we didn't know that G-Eazy was gonna be out here going like, man, I really love pop punk. Didn't see that coming really. Yeah, sure. It was out of left field, but I will say there's some bangers. Like I thought all the singles were great. Stand By Me slaps. Like
Stand By Me is my favorite song.
I think it's my second or first, possibly. But it's a very enjoyable project. So just want to touch on that since we've talked about that for a while because we're like, what is he doing?
Right? You're like, where is G-Eazy? Other than just messing up his entire life. So I'm gonna start with a little project. Excuse me for just using the just using Spotify in general. But we're going to talk about, first of all, I want to touch on Amends with Grey Days and Chester Bennington.
Right.
Just Chester Bennington. That is all I'm gonna say. Chester. I miss him so much. And then on a lighter note, so Buju Banton has been my favorite reggae artist since I was a child because he was the first one I listened to. Like I didn't know what reggae was before I found a CD in my parents. Shout out to my mom and dad, the Keys, until I found this album in our old like CD changer by a guy named Buju Banton, and I was like, I don't know who this is, but I like him because his name is Buju, and reggae, and he has a song called Champion that was like my theme song. I would just walk around like walk like a champion, talk like a champion, and it was amazing. So he went to jail for a long time for drug trafficking.
Oh wow!
I did not know that he was about to put out an album at all, and so I like opened up my Spotify and just saw this and was like, yo! And if you look at the features on it, it has Stephen Marley, John Legend, Pharrell, and Stefan Don. Which is just absolutely legendary that he has John Legend and Pharrell on this, and Stephen Marley too, just from the reggae world. So I thought that was really, really cool. Definitely listen to it. He's a legend, in my opinion. And then after that, I would like to go into Louis the Child. Um, some future-based guys that kind of have had a
Oh
tumultuous,
wow, these features! Holy cow!
a little like their their quarantine has not been the best for them. They found themselves in some controversy uh, earlier with Alice in Wonderland, but that got resolved. But this album's really good. It's super, super future based in like a little bit of house and just like a lot of feel good things. Um, Shout out to my friend Addison who just adores them. I I'm a fan of this album. I don't know where it's gonna rank as far as EDM albums that are gonna come out this year. It's definitely not gonna be the number one. My favorite electronic album that's gonna come out this year. We're about to get to that in a second. But I love this project I love it. It's really, really good. It's like there's nothing in here that I was like, I could have done without this. It is 14 songs, which I didn't expect them to do that loud, but it's 14 songs. It's only 43 minutes. But also, like you mentioned earlier, the features like Earth Gang, just right off the bat. Earth Gang, Quincy, Chelsea Cutler, K-Flay, Vera Blue, Foster the People, which
Like,
I had heard that song earlier through, I think it was like a leak or something on Twitter where someone's like, this is it. And I was like, oh, Foster the People. And it makes sense. We had Duckworth, who's also been featured on Medicine's album that came out this year, which is also going to be very high. Also not the number one album, like electronic album of the year, but we're going to get to that. And then like Bob Moses and Drew Love. And this is just a very feel good type thing. Like that's the best way I can describe them and their music. It's just kind of like, if you want something to make you feel nice, listen to Louis the Child.
something to make it feel nice.
Like warm and fuzzy on the inside. Louis the Child is definitely your like go-to. Megan Thee Stallion is undefeated.
I was wondering. It was almost on my list. I was
Megan
wondering.
Thee Stallion is undefeated. She can do no wrong. And I'll fight anybody that comes for her. She's so good. But this right here.
Oh, I missed this.
This right here is the best Bass Nectar album, in my opinion, since Time Stretch. And I know a lot of people were going to disagree with me and be like, oh yeah, Wild Style was better. No, like, no, Wild Style had Wild Style. Stop. This album, just from the top to bottom, is so good. Like, I started listening to it and I was like, okay, I haven't been that big on Bass Nectar in a while. He was my first electronic show. And I think I hold him in a high regard, but I kind of just move on to like heavier and trappier things. But this is just amazing. There's an Apache the Apache remix was the first thing on here that like just transcended. That was the first thing I kept like going back and listening to, even though I was gonna try to listen to it straight through. Ebook Gotta Run is amazing. The song Yuki, which is I thought was an interesting collaboration because Yuki does like heavy things. Like that is how I was introduced to Yuki, was through like their Black Tiger Sex Machine collabs and Lions and Spiders, and their edit of Dragon Hawks and by Liquid Stranger and Scary Monsters and Ice Sprites by Skrillex. They did a really cool edit of that. And then they were like, we're collabing with Bass Nectar. And I was like, are you sure? And I remember I saw a video of him dropping it at, I think his New Year's show. And I was like, oh, this is really good. Hold on. I might be excited for Bass Nectar releases again. And I was. It's really good. Deep in the Jungle, which is insane. It is not my favorite jungle theme dubstep song, but it is up there. My favorite being Jungle by Ganja White Knight and Liquid Stranger. I'm going to say Liquid Stranger a lot, probably during this, but I love Liquid Stranger. But the highlight, if I could tell you just to go listen to one song from this album, go listen to Random Acts of Kindness and just sit there and cry. That is all I can tell you to do. It's amazing. I think that through like all of these, like through all of like these times, and he's been very outspoken politically, it's been cool to watch people kind of come together around their love of Nectar from people who are all walks of life, like all different kind of political ideals have come and been like, this is amazing, and it is. And so I like listening to this album made me realize that it's time for me to go back to see him in person again, and just kind of recapture that joy. But it just was just something that was really, really nice and really, really fun to listen to. But yeah, it's my favorite Nectar album since Time Stretch. And Time Stretch came out in like 2000 and boom, it was really wild style. Time Stretch came out in 2010. I'm not to say like I haven't liked anything that else that he's done, because I've enjoyed Divergent Spectrum was really good. It had the Lights remix by Ellie Goulding and The Matrix. Wild Style had Wild Style Method. He has Red Step, Ba Ba Boom with Lupe Fiasco, like his Jansen collabs, even all the way up to like 2019 when he put out Hectic and Illusion. It's about to get hectic, excuse me. This is just so, it just feels like a complete cohesive like thing, and it's something that I really, really enjoyed listening to. So definitely, if you have the time, check out that album. Listen to it straight through, but if you don't have the time, just listen to Random Acts of Kindness and cry because it's just something that'll make you emotional. And so that is my new music for this week. There's been a whole lot of bass Nectar.
Wow, 2014. So now let's get into the playlist. We have 40 songs, as we said before. Some of them are back and forth between us. Some of them are stretches of just one of us having multiple songs back to back.
Yeah.
What song it is, we just grab it, we talk about it for a minute or two, and then we move on to the next one. And as we said,
we curated it to the best of our abilities.
Yeah, and like as we said too, like we put it in a certain order specifically, that you can shuffle it as well, like, and it will be fine. But we put it in a specific order for a reason, so I definitely suggest that. Like we said too, link will be in the episode description. You can access it on our website. You'll be able to access it onto the YouTube descriptions as well. So you'll be able to access that, and we're also going to post it on social media platforms too.
Absolutely. So let's just get on started with welcome to Wrapped Chill. So this playlist kind of, like I said earlier, is kind of spawned from me just having a desire to make a playlist that I think will be good for like a cookout, just hanging out on a Sunday morning, going out and playing Frisbee with your friends, like just anything that you kind of just need to take a moment and relax to. And it like came from just not wanting something I wanted to make an atypical playlist. So you can see, if you look on the left side of your screen, you see some of the names of my other playlists, and they're just rather not chill. Except for that one playlist that is titled Chill that I haven't actually done anything with since like 2011 when I got Spotify for the first time. But to just start off the playlist, we went with Feel the Vibe by BJ the Chicago Kid from the album 1123 or R&B. Still amazed that 1123 spells R&B, but it's fine. So that's such a genius thing. And this is it's him and Anderson .Paak. And I just couldn't think of any other way to start this. This was either going to be the very beginning or the very end of this project. Not this project, but this playlist, because it's so good. And just kind of starts in. And he talks about having a cookout in the song. He's just like, come on in, close the door, and feel the vibes. Like, that is all you need to do. And just like kicking it with your parents, like the old people, like everybody's just kind of dancing and just having a good time. And I feel like, especially these times, for good reason, there's been a lacking of just good times, and I would like to have some good times again after we figure out some of these other bullshit things that are going on in the world. You also need the vibes. So after that, we went into Golden's first song, which is 2005, the Beach Picnic version by Childish Gambino. Do you want to talk about why you put that there?
Yeah, I mean, I've always felt that Childish, there's been numerous songs of his that have felt chill from most of his albums. My biggest struggle with finding a specific one, though, is, as we said before, was like some of them start chill and then they get hype, because like I almost put Telegraph on here, but Telegraph is a little too hype at times. I was like, I don't know. But I was like, the most chill you can get him down to in a project is Kawaii. I mean, the whole thing is supposed to be this 6-track thing just about kind of music you would play on the beach, basically, which Beach Vibes to me always feels chill.
Yeah,
And I felt like this was the most tame song of that entire EP because it's just a vibe the whole time. That's all it is. It's just a lo-fi vibe, Childish in his beach bag. So that's, I think, was the perfect song for him.
absolutely. So next we have Mr. Carmack, The Next Afternoon, which is the first kind of delve into lo-fi that we have on this project. Um, I'm gonna keep calling this playlist the project. But The Next Afternoon by Mr. Carmack. Mr. Carmack is a producer and a DJ and a band leader. Um, incredible producer, and it's super chill and kind of has like this like very very able to focus on something. Like say like you play this while you're flipping your burgers, or like let's say you're working, you're sitting down doing homework. This will get you into a groove that you can't really get out of. And like I remember I listened to this song straight through and I was working on something and I was like, oh, I'm done. This is played 6 times. Oh, tight. It's very very. I would say it's the like that heaviest side of lo-fi, if that makes it's heavy lo-fi, if that makes sense in a way. Um, but it's just a really good song. I found it on another playlist that one of my friends made. Shout out to Chase Johnson. He has like a whole immersion focus playlist that's incredible, and this is one of the songs that stood out for me. And then just when I was going back to do my homework on Mr. Carmack, it was another song that I just kind of kept in my head for a very long time. I was like, this is really really nice. So definitely check that out.
Yeah, then we go into Reaching Too Much by Anderson .Paak. So when we first were putting this playlist together, Ryan calls me and he says, so on the real, how much Anderson .Paak you trying to put on this playlist? Because I want to keep it kind of minimum because it would be super easy for us to just be like, put 2
Anderson
albums on
Paak's
there.
greatest hits.
It is literally Anderson .Paak's greatest hits because like all of his music, with the exception of probably Oxnard, since that's a very rap heavy album, is very chill. Once again, beach vibes, chilling by the sun. And I just want to limit that down to just like one song for him, basically.
Yeah.
We have him on that Feel the Vibe with BJ the Chicago Kid as the feature, but as a main artist, we just need one song.
I was really nervous that this was going to become an Anderson .Paak playlist.
Yeah, exactly. And it was a debate between, am I going to put a song from Malibu or am I going to put a song from Ventura on here? Kind of equal, really I couldn't see, like, it's so hard for me to like choose between those. Then as I was going through like Ventura, once I decided, I was like, I'll just do Ventura since I know it more. Every single song on there, I was like, this could work. Oh, this could work. Oh, but wait, this could work. And I was like, oh, this is hard. And so I eventually just kind of listened to it. And then I was like sitting here and I was like, that's the one. And I was like, what is this? Reaching Too Much? Perfect. It has everything I want from an Anderson .Paak chill song. Beachy, jazzy, lots of singing, and strong backing vocals.
Yes.
It's a great song, but I think like this playlist too like should act as almost a jumping off point for people in the sense of like, oh, you liked that Anderson .Paak song? Well, how about you just go listen to the whole album? Because if you're trying to chill, you should visit that whole album because it flows so well together. And it'll put you in the mindset that we're trying to kind of give you a teaser with this playlist, basically.
So next we have Illy or I Like It by Troy Boy from his album Left Is Right. And this is a song that I listen to so much. It has a really old school like Motown R&B sample that kind of goes back to that like cookout just vibe, just like kind of sitting out with like some old heads, just kind of chilling. And then it goes into this just absolutely wild Troy Boy trap drop that takes you by surprise, but also kind of makes you go, oh, yeah, here we go. And it's very driving, but it's a very low key driving where it's not like go out punch your friend in the face. It's kind of like, hey, let's like bob your head while you're standing in line to get a plate kind of deal, which something I really enjoy. And he is he doesn't make bad music ever. Like this song, Do You Love Me? He sound clash with Flosstradamus, which is like one of the greatest trap songs to ever be made. He helped make, and he also has a producer tag that is undefeated. And like it's one of the most recognizable things because a lot of times in EDM in electronic music you don't have that producer tag. but like Flosstradamus had one, and then he has one that Yeah Me Too also has one, but he also does hip hop, and Yeah Me Too is one of the former members of Flosstradamus, but the Troy Boy, just having him spell out his name is just legendary and iconic. And I cannot tell you how many shows I've been to where somebody's been mixing something and then like everybody's been like, all right, kind of just like this is cool, but whatever. And then you just hear the Troy, and then by the time they get to the B, everybody is like B, and then it drops and everybody goes nuts, and it's always a really really great feeling. Um, but this one has a very long and slow intro, but I guarantee you will not be disappointed, and it takes you very nicely from Anderson .Paak into more electronic, the more electronic side of it.
Then we shift into Hone, which I would desperate to say that all of their music kind of fits this playlist theme very well, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
This song called Sometimes is from Love Me, Love Me Not, which is my favorite album of theirs. It was like one of my top 10 albums of 2018
Yeah.
as a whole. And I struggled very much to find what Hone song I wanted, because I knew I wanted a Hone song. A lot of their songs, though, do start chill and then they begin to slap. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is hard. Maybe I'm just not going to use them. I came across Sometimes. Sometimes it has like a slight drop to it, but as a whole, it's honestly just like chill, and it's honestly just kind of sad. It's kind of this kind of song you just like kind of want to sit in a dark room and cry, or just drive your car to. And honestly, a lot of the songs I put on this playlist are kind of like sad leaning, but I think there's
Yeah.
something to be said about like the therapy of listening to sad music.
Mm-hmm.
Helps you like process your emotions. So if you're feeling stressed, you're feeling overwhelmed by the world right now, sometimes listening to sad music really helps.
It really does.
It really does. And I would say Sometimes is one of their saddest songs, but also one of my favorite songs as a whole. It also has a remix with RM from BTS that really slaps. Yeah, it's so good. It's wild, but I just went with the regular Sometimes. Really good song. I would highly suggest everyone check out Hone and that album specifically as a whole. I think Sometimes is going to be the best intro for everyone.
Hey, give me a second. I'm going to close my window.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the next song that we have on here is STFU, or Shut the Fuck Up by Mansions, featuring Sparkmaster Tape. So Mansions is a super group made up of Black Bear and Mike Posner, and they put out an album that changed my life called Mansions, and this was the first single actually that we had from
That's
this.
true.
I don't count. Technically, I feel like that song from Drink Bleach that Mike Posner's on would be like the first like time we really got Mansions.
Yeah.
But this is kind of one of the songs, other than like Nobody Knows, from this album that really defines their sound, and like it's also a really good song, and it like kind of has this like just this going guitar riff and then just drums that I'm one of them programmed, and it's really really good. It is one of the most vulgar songs on here. Just that's what you get from a title of STFU. But all of it is a very kind of like sit down and kind of like giggle about it with your friends. Not necessarily like this is mean. This is kind of just like a that's funny. And also, all of them kind of snap on this. Like Black Bear has his verse and he does the hook on there. Mike P comes and just goes crazy. With the be quiet. Like Mike P is one of the best songwriters of this generation. I need more people to talk about that.
Yes.
And then Sparkmaster Tate, just I don't know where he is or like what else he's gonna do, but his verse is very good. He's like the last thing that kind of happens, and I was like, I remember it started, and I was like, what is happening right now? Because I was like, cool, this is nice. Definitely like not the most hype part of the song, but like the kind of like the most up tempo section of it is his verse, definitely. But if you can, please go listen to this whole album. You will cry. I think I cry a little bit every single time I listen to it. And if you don't listen to this album, listen to this song, and then listen to Nobody Knows, and then Dennis Rodman and Thinking About Horses. Thinking About Horses is a poem by Mike Posner. That is just a trip.
It is
Um,
trippy.
but STFU by Mansions is gonna forever be on any playlist I make. Not every playlist, but any playlist. It can fit there. So I really thought that this was the song that could definitely fit here. It's also the song that I landed on after going through like Black Bear and Mike Posner's entire catalog. And I didn't want to take Mike Posner songs because he says at the beginning of his projects, this album is set amount of time. It is to be listened to without any stops, distractions, breaks. And I was like, I feel like he would actually try to fight me if I just took one of his songs and put it on this playlist. So that's why I landed on Mansions, because it is so good, just so good. I remember being on the bus on choir tour going to Chicago when it came out and just like sitting there and I was just started like sobbing, and Max Miniger, shout out Max, was just like, are you okay? And I was like, you have to listen to the Mansions album. It's gonna change your life. And it did. And also Mansions needs to go on tour because they can have all of my money.
Yes, I listened to that album for the first time in our living room by myself in the dark while no one was home, because
what a good way to introduce yourself to Mansions.
it was great. And by the end of it, the chair that I was sitting on had deflated. But
throw back to that stupid ass gaming chair.
I know, right? The next song then is Living Single, which is by Big Sean, and then it features Chance the Rapper and Jeremiah.
Mm-hmm.
So I chose this song just because the way it sounds, like if you took away their voices,
yeah,
you just have this kind of backing, sad, piano-ish beat. And then you introduce like Jeremiah with like that hook that is just like, it's all kind of just like a sad but happy song. It just feels very chill. I chose this song for purely the way that it sounds. It sounds very calming. It's kind of sad, as I talked about with the home thing. But I mean, you have three really, really good artists also on this song as well, which really helped it, because I think this is a super underrated Big Sean song. This is a super slept on. I
heard it before.
Oh, really?
You put it on there,
yeah. It goes under the radar. I just found it one day while listening to like a radio thing.
Okay.
And then it kind of popped up, and I was like, Chance the Rapper's on here too, because this is also a great Chance the Rapper verse.
Oh, yes, it is.
It's a very interesting topic and commentary about being young and what you want to do in your relationship. So it's always interesting to hear those perspectives, because like Big Sean is coming in at it from being, I'm single, because this is like the second or third time he broken up with Janae Aiko. And then Chance the Rapper is like, I'm about to be married. This is 2016, so he's not married yet, but he's pretty much like, I love my fiance. And then Jeremiah's just like, I'm just here to sing a hook. I don't even know what his relationship status is at all, to be honest.
Nobody does.
He's
having birthday sex with people.
Exactly. But it's a great song, perfect for this playlist, especially to help leverage out and put some rap on there too.
So our next track is not rap, but it is Sunny Days by Alan Stone, and it is the closest that Alan Stone gets to rapping in his songs. Alan Stone is the greatest singer out right now, and greatest male singer out right now, and that is going for Josh Groban. Anybody that you can think of, I will tell you that Alan Stone can sing them under the table. I've never seen somebody sing Blue Eyed Soul music so well and so consistently well than Alan Stone. He is amazing. Ansley and I got to see him in February at the Buckhead Theater, and it was phenomenal. Like he just has so many songs that should be hits that aren't, that you just forget about. And this song definitely has the potential. It's one of the most radio friendly songs that he has that can cross over. Like you could put this, like if you put this on an R&B station, you would be like, oh, okay, it's definitely a white boy, but it's like really good. And like, it has a really nice bounce to it. There's this like feeling to it where it's kind of like driven and kind of like just makes you kind of like bop your head and like sway without even like intentionally like going into that, like being in that mindset. It's got a very like boom bappy kind of like slowed down like drum pattern to it. And then I think like the second, like there's a bridge section where he just hits his falsetto and does it like nobody else can. This is also one of the best albums from last year. From one of the best albums from last year, and it's again about his wife, so it's a love song. It is a very happy song. When he's talking about that not every day is going to be sunny, but like I have a reason to smile because you're with me. And it's a very very clever song. But definitely listen to that one and listen to that whole album if you can. It'll change your life a little bit. He's like the guy that wrote I knew his name until just right now. Oh God, bet you wondering where I've been. Oh, what is his name? Anyway, but I remember it was that guy that. Oh wow, I'm so mad. I truly just lost his name, but I remember when I found out that guy was white, I just didn't believe it at all. Oh, what is? I'm gonna remember his name in like 10 minutes, so come back to me on that. But
it's like the internet just found out that Jack Harlow's white. Did you see that whole thing?
How do people not know he's white?
I don't know.
People not like shy about it.
Exactly, that's what he said. He's like, I put my white face on every album cover I've ever made.
Bobby Caldwell, that's his name. Sorry, I remember when I found out Bobby Caldwell was white. Because also his name is Bobby Caldwell.
Or like when you found out St. Paul from St. Paul and Broken Bones is white.
I knew St. Paul was white.
First, I couldn't tell.
St. Paul is also a very special singer.
That's fair.
In general, he has a very unique voice. It's kind of like all of these guys that we've mentioned have very distinct voices.
Yeah.
And nobody can mimic St. Paul. Nobody can mimic Alan Stone. Nobody can mimic Bobby Caldwell, just because you have to be they're some of the best vocalists and some of the best performers right now. Bobby Caldwell not so much because he old, but Alan Stone and St. Paul put their all into their shows.
Right.
And so there's just something so unique about it that can transcend race. And even though if you didn't know Alan Stone was from the Pacific Northwest or Colorado, that kind of ilk, you would be like, oh, he grew up around Atlanta singers, he grew up around soul music, and he did. It just was kind of a different kind of soul.
Right.
He did a stint as a coach on American Idol, and I will never forget seeing him do that and being you should be so much more famous than you are right now, sir. Because he was just they're up there, people were singing his songs, and he's up there having a grand old time, and I was like, yo, I don't think these people realize he is holding back right now. And there's moments where he's playing guitar, and you can just tell he is wanting to rip just some notes out, but he's not, because these people are competing, and he didn't want to take their spot or anything. And I was like, sir. Oh. So definitely Sunny Days by Alan Stone brought it back.
Nice. So Toby Lou don't miss with the chill vibes, because it always just sounds chill. I listened to so much Toby Lou when I first found him living in Florida, because that was kind of the Florida vibe. Sunsets, sunrises. Oh gosh, that just reminded me of Fit on the Roof. Anyways, yeah, he doesn't miss with the chill vibes. So I struggled to find a perfect song of his, because a lot of his music is very chill. But I landed on Sometimes I Ignore You Too, because I felt like it was very kind of sad for him, and it's just one of his most calm songs I could think of. It was more of a challenge of, don't just pick a calm song, pick a song that's going to be his calmest, because most of his are calm in the first place. Yeah, this song really, it was between that and Sheep Vacations, both from his most recent album, Live on Ice, because there's something about them too. Both of those songs, this sounds super weird, both of those songs sound like songs that I would listen to on an airplane or inside of an airport waiting for a flight. And you're looking for music like this at that time, because you're like, I'm not trying to get hype in my seat, you know? I just want to relax and just be calm but engaged. So I felt like that song was the epitome of what I was looking for within his discography for this playlist.
Do you remember when we performed the Black Bears discography flying to New York? for choir. Do you just remember? Can we just talk about how we sat in those chairs and put on a whole ass concert for nobody with the seat backs in front of us? Oh my god, that was so dumb.
That
was so funny though.
The real question is, do you remember us trying to craft out the Black Bear musical?
Yes, I'm sure I still have that somewhere. That could be a whole episode.
I'm still committed to. I'm still committed to it happening one day. But
right after my Chemical Romance musical, I will start working on the Black Bear, on the Black Bear music.
Oh man, Black Parade into Dead Roses.
Hey, just make it the My Chemical Black Bear.
Oh my god,
the musical. Anyway,
I can't.
Anyway, the next song on here is probably by the most hype artist of all time. And that is the man Jacquees Webster, also known as Travis Scott.
Real name.
So it's Yosemite featuring Gunna and Nav, and Nav's not necessary, so we're not gonna talk about him. But I picked this song. I personally just adore the song and everything that it's about. But also, there's just a vibe to it that you don't hear a lot anymore in music. And it was something that's like really hard to identify until you hear it. You know what I'm saying? And this has like, it's kind of that like sitting there, like, even though it's very much a trap song, just from the way like Gunna says the like it has that like kind of like that trap triplet bounce to it, but it's also very like kind of sit back and like lounge in a chair with like a drink or something else and like just kind of like nod your head a little bit, kind of getting lost. Like it kind of lulls you to sleep a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like, and it lulls you to sleep not in like a good way, but kind of like you're like what you would imagine like the beginning of like getting really high would be like just kind of like calms you, and then like it's a really like weighted heavy song, not necessarily like heavy like but like heavy, just like everything kind of sits very in like the center of your chest. Like it's something to cry to, it's something to laugh to, it's something like to talk to your friends and be like, oh, this was such a great song. Yeah, it's Yosemite. And it was also like one of the first times I really heard Gunna outside of a Gunna song that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
It was really, really good. The video was something different. I don't know what happened. Like, I would love to see the treatment for that video.
Same.
And just be like, hear him be like, hey, I want to do this. I'm going to fly over a place and it's going to be Astro World. But just wait. Spoilers, but like it is a really, really good song. I'm glad it made it on here.
I think it's interesting too. When I saw that, I was like, Travis Scott. But if you think about it, like as we said before, honestly, most of his music is not that hype.
This is true.
It's more of like
live.
It's him live has like implanted the idea of like you're listening to a song by him and you can hear how it sounds live, which is like hype as heck. But I remember the first time listening to Astroworld and I was thinking, oh, this is going to be all bangers. Honestly, the only time I jumped was during the Drake verse. That's it. The rest of the album, I just sat on my couch and like closed my eyes.
Oh, what song was it? It's the fuck the club up. That one got me.
That one, that's true. I would say
mostly
No Bystanders. Yeah, I agree with that.
I'll attribute that one to Chuck West's feature of him just saying bitch.
Yeah, I agree. So those two moments are the hype moments. But the rest of the album, I was like, this is pretty tame.
Even if you look back at like Birds and Rodeo, like they're like Rodeo had like Antidote, like Bird. Mm-hmm. But even like on Birds, you look at Goosebumps. Goosebumps is not that hype. Yeah. But when he gets out there, it's just like,
yeah. there's the two Travises, right? You listen to his discography and then you listen to it live. That's like what is so impressive about him live is it's almost like an oldies like rock star of how their music sounds so much better or different live. I wouldn't say his music sounds better. I would just say it sounds completely different.
Yeah. I would say that this almost got replaced with Love Galore. It says it says a song, so it says it in him. But I I was like debating between those two. And mostly I just watched like a video on Twitter from when SZA brought Travis Scott out in Houston, and it just went from like a kind of like an everybody vibing kind of show to just absolute chaos and
Yeah.
then back again. Um, but I settled on this one because this one I felt like fit the flow of kind of the things that you had already put on there, but better. And also like I could see like I like how we put it after the Toby Lou song, because I feel like one into the other kind of like it builds a little bit, but it doesn't
Yeah.
like take away from like the calmness of those either of the songs anyway.
Yeah, I agree. Next we go into something that I think starts chill, but then really helps leverage the whole rap kind of train we're going on here with the Toby Lou and the Travis Scott. Is with an artist named Healy, who is this super small artist from Memphis that I found while living in Florida. I was in Tampa. I was in the backseat of my friend's car. She's playing this guy, and I'm kind of like not really paying attention. And then all of a sudden I was like, yo, this is good. Like, this is the vibe right now. It was like sunset. I was like, this is exactly the kind of music that fits this vibe. I said, who is this? And she's like, it's Healy. And I was like, And so then
That's
after
really
that,
good.
it's so good. Like I went and I
Really
listened
good.
to all of this album called Sublux. And Slalom to me stood out the most of that whole album, even though I think the whole project is super solid. But Slalom is great. Like it starts out with great beats, and then it transitions, and it's kind of hype, kind of rap, kind of chill. It's literally it's perfect. Like it's exactly like what fits this concept we're going for with this playlist. And I used to, true story. So when I would get my like lunch breaks, my first like couple months when I worked at Disney, and I would go downstairs and I would go into a shower stall of the locker rooms with my lunch, and I'd sit on the floor and I would just eat it there and listen to Healy, specifically this song.
Oh, nice.
I just didn't want to be around people. I just want like, because I was around people so much that I was like, bro, I need a minute. So I would lock myself into like one of the stalls and I would like just like listen to Healy, and it just calmed me down, because during the summer it gets really busy there and I was like, I'm stressed. And so I would just calm down with this song. So kind of recycling that concept of like, bro, I need to calm down from the world, listen to this song.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so next we have Zoo by Stara and Diplo. This was the most difficult decision I think I had to make on this playlist when adding songs, because I could have added this entire album. It's just 5 tracks, and all of them would have fit. It is the most morning after the party album ever created, in my opinion. I remember we found it, I think, after some party at BSC. Shout out the frat row. That I remember just like listening to it, and we woke up and Max was making coffee, and I was like, oh, what is this? And I like played it, and we all just kind of sat there and listened to the whole thing. Didn't realize that we listened to the whole thing, because it's not a very long project. We were like, wait, that's really good. Are you gonna listen to it again? Yes. And it started all over again, and that was really, really nice. This song is Star's a rapper and singer, kind of in. I don't really know if she's in anybody else's lane. She's like a very distinct voice. And this song starts out with last night. Last night we had the club go at Zoo, and it was like, that's us right now. And we were all super hungover, just like trudging along zombie like. And I remember I put this on and we all kind of like started like bouncing to it. But if you need just like a chill, like short 16-minute drive somewhere, definitely I would put this on, because none of these songs are bad. They are explicit, so maybe not around your children. But the highlights are definitely Zoo and Imperfections, and then also You Know It could have been a radio hit. Still to this day could be a radio hit, in my opinion. But it is very, very good, so please listen to that.
The next song then is High Today by Wiz Khalifa featuring Logic. So I was like, I feel like there's a number of Logic songs I could have put on this playlist just because I'm a sucker for that man. So I was like, I'm gonna put my boy on there. And I almost decided on another song from Young Sinatra 4.
Mm-hmm.
because it felt a very beach vibe. But then this Wiz Khalifa song just really fits the vibe. And honestly, it came out of so left field because it's from the saga of Wiz Khalifa, which is just this EP he released on 420 because it's Wiz Khalifa and he loves marijuana.
Yes, he does.
And I was like, Logic is on here because they're really good friends. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
this is interesting. But what's most interesting is like Logic raps on it, but he does a singing hook on it.
Yeah.
And it's so good. It's just a vibe. Like it just really works. Like the whole like idea of like high today of like they're just getting high or whatever. And like we can associate like being high with like being calmed down essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And that this song encapsulates that. It kind of gets me hyped. Like when Logic comes in with those bars, I'm just like, ooh, kill him. But at the same time, it's
Yeah,
very
but we might be killing this shit.
killing this shit. At the same time, it's very calm. Like it just
Yeah.
this is such a different song for him. And honestly, I think it's so slept on. Like the Logic crew knows it, but like
Mm-hmm.
everyone kind of missed out on I think the project as a whole from Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah,
And
for
like
sure.
this song out of that whole project is so slept on. And I'm like, I'm trying to get it out there to more people. So I'm like, it's more impactful if I put this song on there than just some solo Logic song that I was gonna toss on there instead.
It's a really good song too.
It's so good.
Right, so next we have "Hard on Ice" by Rod Wave. I love Rod Wave so much. He is signed to Kevin Gates' label. And when I was like going to trying to pick a song, I was like, I wanted to add like another kind of gangster R. I wanted to add like a gangster R&B song. And if there's ever one, this was it. And it was like, I remember the first time I heard it, just like in the radio, I was like, what? Who and how is this? And I was like, because I loved it. It's very emotional. It is like super introspective. Um, but it's also just a good song to like
Mm-hmm.
just sit down and listen to. It's fun. Um, you can tell that he definitely put a lot of like heart into writing these words. It wasn't just something that he was like, oh yeah, I put my heart on ice. I don't know what to believe. It was like it was like something like somebody hurt him deeply, and it like he poured his heart out on this track, and I'm so appreciative of that. So Rod Wave, Heart on Ice. It is, in my opinion, it's one of his best songs. It's like that and Gold Links. Not Gold Links. The song with Kevin Gates. Yeah, it is Gold Links, I think. Maybe, I don't know. Sidetrack. But definitely check this song out. And I think it fits really well after the singing Logic because it's a singing rapper again.
Exactly.
So that kind of flowed really, really nicely, just for placement wise on here.
Okay,
Well,
so
you
then
got 2 songs in a row.
yeah, I know. I was just looking at that. I was like, oh, I got 2 songs. That's crazy. But so then we go into the newest song from my boy No Rome, who I've talked about before, but just a refresher course. He is a like Filipino British, I guess. He lives in London now, but he's not really from London. But he lives in London. He's signed to Dirty Hit, which is the 1975's record label, because Maddie from 1975 like found him and was like, come live in London. Here's a record contract. Let's make songs together. Like just gave him everything basically.
Love that.
Cause no Rome don't miss. This man does not miss. Like he's released such good, interesting music that I think is also very calming and chill. This is his 3rd single, we're assuming, from his new album that has yet to be announced, but has been heavily teased. And it features Badoobie, I think that's how they say her name, who is also on his record label, and Jay Som, who is not on the record label. It's the newest song, as I said. I think all of his music is calm, but sometimes like I think I get hyped to it because I know it so much. So I'm like, yeah, give me that like calm bop.
Yeah.
This song as a whole, all the way through, is pretty calm. I'm probably not over here going like bopping to it. It's very chill. It has a guitar to it that I think also creates that vibe. It fits this playlist very well because I also want to include something from him on this playlist. So this is definitely chill for him, but all of his music is in that more lo-fi chill range. We then move on to more guitar with the guitar master, John Mayer. Similar to No Rome, I was like, John Mayer don't miss with the chill vibes. He's obviously going to go on here somehow because he just fits it with his music. And I kind of went back and forth between, oh, what song am I going to use? But I eventually decided I'm going to settle on one of the two newest singles that he did from last year, which was either Carry Me Away, or Sometimes I Just Feel Like. I was kind of torn between them, but I landed on Carry Me Away because the way the chorus is structured, it just feels like
Yeah.
you're floating on like an ocean. Um, Either one could fit. Most of his music could fit. I think a lot of people though missed out on this song. Like they didn't realize that like, wait, John Mayer released a single in 2019 that wasn't New Light. I missed that. Like, so I think people need to go back and catch that because like, man don't miss with every
Yeah.
song he makes basically now. And it made a lot of sense for this playlist as a whole. And also he's wearing a kimono in the cover art. I just have to note that because I think just the most John Mayer thing ever. God bless his soul.
All right, so next we have Sam Henshaw and the song "Broke." So Sam Henshaw, I discovered actually because of Alan Stone. He opened for him, um,
Okay.
and when I was like doing my homework on all of the artists because I like to listen to everybody before I go see them, even if I don't know who they are, just so I can be a little bit familiar. Because you also never know, because you'll discover some gems of like artists and songs like if you just explore some new music. But this song, he's another guy from England, and this song is so good. It has that kind of like that old school like BJ the Chicago Kid like bop to it, if you know what I mean. Like everything kind of just like has you like start to move in a way. There's like great horns and like just his voice is. He's another guy that's a very unique voice. It's super husky, but it still like has that like beautiful like flow to it where it draws you in and kind of like breaks you down a little bit. And who doesn't love a good song about being broke? Like it's just like it's a good vibe. Definitely if you want like a more exciting song from him, like I say exciting, a more energetic song from him, definitely go listen to The World Is Mine or the song with Earth Gang, Church. Um, those are all very good. He's also another guy that does not make bad music. I've decided. And he's a guy that I would love to see him. It was like when we saw him, he was just him and like a bass player. He played keyboards. I would love to see him with like a full band, just like ripping it one day. And I feel like he's definitely a guy that has the potential to get that big. Um, and so this is just I feel like a good way to introduce people to end of kind of like the vibes that he gives. So Sam Henshaw, he's on the rise. I think unless something bad happens to him, he's going to be around for a while. It's just a really really good singer songwriter. So fully check him out.
Heck yeah. So the first idea I had when this concept of this playlist was introduced to me was I have a playlist that I made starting 6 or 7 years ago called just like Study and Productivity. And it's mostly just full of instrumental music, lo-fi artists, things like that. And so I was like, obviously, I need to add some people from that roster that I have sitting on the side. And the first one I have on here that I decided to put on here is Elijah Nang, and he made an entire album called Lost in Japan too. It was obviously a first one as well.
Yes.
All he does is make 1 minute. Well, actually, his songs are a little bit longer. Most lo-fi is like 1 or 2 minutes. His songs can be 5 minutes long, and they're just like lo-fi beats. And I would it's hard to choose at times which one are you gonna go with because they all sound so calming.
We also need to take a second and talk about just cover art.
Yeah, I know, right? It's so good. It's just like it's some temple like outside of like Kyoto or Tokyo. It looks like super normal lo-fi Japan vibes. But I settled on Shibuya Cafe, one, because I love the name, because it's named after the cafe of like the Starbucks in Shibuya, which is famous. But I felt like it was also one of the calmest songs in the whole album as a whole. But definitely it's a great introduction for people to then discover more of like, I liked that. Let's jump into more of his sound or just that genre as a whole. It's completely instrumental. There are no lyrics. So it's a nice little break in between all these songs that we have with lyrics, you know?
Nice. It's very, very vibey.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It is very, very vibey.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
That almost made the playlist too. Just throwing that out there. So next we have Yo E.T. to I and You and Me by Rosalie and Ozuna. I was trying to speak Spanish, but that's just going to be disrespectful. Rosalie is my favorite new artist that I've found in the past 6 months. I most of the time I don't speak Spanish, so I have no idea what she's talking about. But there's just like an energy that comes with her that is absolutely insane and like something that only like a Latin artist can give you. And so I think she's going to be really big, and I like the way that she makes like Latin funk and like things like that, but also is like very big cosign, as you can see down here, a very big cosign from Travis Scott with her being on the Highest in the Room remix as well. Which some people are like, oh yeah, she was trash on that. And I was like, no, you're just stupid.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Amazing on that.
I don't
He also
understand why
did
people
the
hate
It's
it.
Lit ad lib, and he doesn't let anybody do the It's Lit ad lib
I
but him.
know. It's crazy.
Nobody, like I have never not once heard somebody on the Travis Scott song say it's lit
Besides him.
besides him.
Yeah.
Especially not as an ad lib. Are you kidding me? And like the ad libs are very, very important to like his music. And she just went, it's lit. And I was like, let's go.
Let's go.
Now, like, I would like to see her and honestly, like, just going back to Ice New, I would like to see her and Lil Baby do like a little like 3-song EP together. So I feel like that could be very, very interesting. It could also definitely be like some super like Queen of the South vibes. But I
Right.
really, really love Rosalia and the music that she does. But the next song that we have on here is an oldie. It is the deep house version of Waves by Mr. Probs. And I guarantee you've heard this song before. But this is the deep house Robin Schulz edit. And it's really good. It's also super vibey. It's something that I played a lot of times, like 7, 8 in the morning, whenever we would all start to wake up. When we all lived together at BSC, and it just be something that like kind of bob your head to. Like it's nice. It's definitely, in my opinion, one of the most beachy songs that we have on here. Not just because it is called Waves, but like if you were gonna film a montage video for you like YouTube, like I'm a lifestyle vlogger, and you're like you guys are all going to the beach and it's like secluded in like a nice little like hiding hole area. This is the song that you would use for that like getting ready and like walking up to it compilation. It is a very sad song. Like if you listen to what he's saying, it is not like a happy feel good song, but it has that very serious like give your friend a hug vibe. Like slow motion high fives, running into the water, like at sunset, everybody building a fire and sitting down. It is a very like I know we just probably described Teen Beach Movie 1, 2, and 3, but it's fine. It's not what I meant to go. But it's very good, and it's deep house, so it's not like it's not your big room like festival house music. It is very kind of just like sit there and like nod your head to just something that's boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats. So
That's
it's really,
very
really
true.
good.
That's very true. 3 songs back to back. Here we go. Firstly is Fair Chance by Thundercat, which also the song features Ty Dolla $ign and Lil B, which is wild. But
Which is so weird.
It's so weird, but he slaps on this song though. But yeah, Thundercat very much needed to be on this playlist because a lot of his music is just very calming from the way that he just mainly emphasizes using his bass guitar to just his voice. It's always calming. A lot of it is just kind of like a void you can fall into. But recently, I really love this new album, It Is What It Is from him. And I really love Fair Chance. Like, there's just something about it. Like, it's very catchy. My mind, like, I've needed to play it multiple times this week because I keep singing it by myself because it just catches me. And you have Ty on there, who Ty, like, is another artist who I think makes a lot of beachy songs outside of his more trappy songs. It just made perfect sense. Yeah, the Beach House mixtape series, like, it just made sense for this song to basically just be on here. And listen to all of Thundercat as well as my suggestion if you're looking for more chill vibes. But this is a song that I would use to introduce people to it, as well as the third song from this, or fourth song called Black Qualls with Childish Gambino, Steve Lacy, and Steve Arrington. Because I kid you not, I put it on the other day in the car, and Autumn was like, wait, is this like a 70s Afro punk song? And I was like, this is 2020, fam. But she's like, could have fooled me.
That's what he does.
That's what he does. That's what's so impressive about him. And then we go into Colorado by Coda the Friend. Next to Toby Lou, Coda the Friend is the chillest rapper out there.
Mm-hmm.
All of his music kind of, some people have argued, oh, it sounds the same. And he's addressed as like, yeah, it sounds the same. Like, that's just my sound. Like, I'm creating consistency.
This is the music I make.
This is the music I make. And that's what's great about him is if you're looking for chill, but also rap or trap, then visit Coda the Friend's page. Out of all the songs, though, I chose Colorado because it's a perfect intro to him, and it epitomizes all of his chill sounds that he makes put together kind of in one song.
Mm-hmm.
He don't miss. It's a great song. Then lastly is some more music that is not in English is BTS. K-pop, let's go. But honestly, BTS, I wouldn't pick them usually to be on here because most of the music is pretty hype. But I remember when I first came across them was this album, Love Yourself Tear, because I looked at the cover art and I thought it was going to be lo-fi Japanese inspired music. Never heard of them. Did not realize what I was getting into. And I put on the first song, and this intro Singularity that's on the playlist here is like a very kind of like sad R&B song. It's very chill. And it just made sense. I remember I was like, BTS has some songs that get really chill, and it's nice too because it's not in English, so you might not understand it. It kind of just transports you mentally somewhere else. It just made sense to be on here. Most of their other music, I would then say, doesn't really belong on this playlist. It's just like really hype, which is awesome, but it's not this vibe. But this song fits it. And I would say too, like when I first started listening to it, I thought they were an R&B group after I realized they were not a lo-fi group. And then about halfway through the album, I was like, yo, just kidding. They full on K-pop. But there's a lot of R&B on this album, and that's probably the most R&B song on there. So that's why I chose that one.
Nice. All right. So next we have one of the greatest songs ever written, and Tadao by Masego and FKJ. I'm going to preface with this if you've not heard the song, before you listen to it on this playlist, go and look up them doing it live, because it's them two in a room and they build the song from scratch. Like it's planned, but it's just those two guys, and they play like 18 different instruments and just like go nuts for no reason. But it's from the Lady Lake album, and Masego is going to be a legend. In my opinion, he already is a legend, but he is just somebody that is going to be around forever. The extended version is not on Spotify, or that would have been the version I put on here, which is the version from the YouTube video. But this song just has everything you need, from R&B to rap to some lo-fi in it. Excuse me. And it just has like just that energy that you can't explain, but it's so addictive. Like you can listen. This is a song that you can listen to over and over and over and over again. And one, it rarely gets stuck in my head, but I also I always want to listen to it. Like I always end up wanting to think about this song for some reason, because it's amazing. So definitely check out Tadao by FKJ and Masego.
Masego. That's actually kind of good sounding. I'm kind of impressed myself there.
Yeah.
But then we go into a song called Valentine's Day by Laney, or maybe it's Lany. I always call them Laney. But
LA New York.
Yeah, that's exactly the point. They want that their music is supposed to be both those sounds together, even though they're from Nashville. I know, right? Anywho, a lot of their music, like when I was thinking about this playlist too, I was like, I remember listening to their debut album 3 times in a row in one day because I found it very calming and just very chill. Yeah. And I went back to that album and I was like, honestly, either the songs are so depressing it's not chill anymore, or they were a little too hype to me. And I turned then to their next project, which was Malibu Nights, which a lot of people really did not love because the whole thing sounds like one song and is super consistent. But as it's aged, that's exactly why I like it. Because if I'm looking for something chill, I'm immediately going to go to this 9-track album. It just makes sense. and honestly, I could have chosen any song from this album to put on there. As I said, it's very consistent. But there was something about the Valentine's Day track that stood out to me that I was like, this is what I'm looking for. It was just sad enough. It was just chill enough. And it was just had like a rhythm to it enough that it fit everything I was looking for. But I put this music on for someone else before, and I was coming back from the beach, and they were like, yo, who is this? I really like this vibe. I was like, it's Lainey. Like, it's really good. Like, I was like, exactly. It fits. Just like bob your head a little bit, shed a tear or two, probably.
Yeah.
Think about your past 3 exes and all of the mistakes you made in your life leading up to this very moment, and then move on and be happy.
Yeah. So after we get through Lainey, we've got "Luxury" by John Bellion, which is the first John Bellion song I actually ever heard. Shout out to Troy.
I know, right?
Bringing us back in the apartment that they had on BSC's campus. I remember he just put this on, and I was like, what is this? Like, what is happening? And why is the chorus just horns? And then he was like, he explains it in the song, so I'm not going to get into it. But the song, I feel like, is one of his most chill songs without being just outright sad.
Yeah.
Because a lot of his chill songs are very sad and make you want to cry. And I was like, I don't want to put crying John Bellion on here, but I wanted to put something that kind of just like rides a little bit. And also, this also encompasses his entire like vocal ability, because he has that super sweet like "say with me" thing that he does on there that he also is like rapping, which I feel like is John Bellion. Like, you can either give you like just complete Luther Vandross, or he can just go complete Jay-Z, like, and you get either one of those. And John Bellion is also one of those guys that is going to be like, the way that people talk about like Smokey Robinson and other great songwriters, like from our parents' generation, he's going to be that guy. I think that is just going to, who already encompasses so many genres, and he doesn't make bad music. Like, I remember like when he was rolling out Glory Sound Prep, we were like, I don't know if this is going to be good, because he had just put out The Human Condition. We were like, well, The Human Condition was just that good of an album. And then we got to Glory Sound Prep. We're like, well, Glory Sound Prep is just that good of an album.
Yep.
He also live rewrote all of the songs to be completely different than the album. So there's specific live versions for it. And I need him to record those and put those out so I can listen to them again all the time in high quality, because they're so good. But just to move on from him, because I could talk about John Bellion forever, please go listen to his music, watch his YouTube videos. We have Medicine and Naomi Wild and their song Every Time from their album Ripples, which came out this year. And Medicine is another guy that we saw him at Hangout this past year. And I knew him from like some of his remixes, from like he has a remix of a Portugal the Man song. He also has a really good remix of the Rihanna, Bryson Tiller, DJ Khaled song that samples Mary Mary. That was really good. But this album, just from start to finish, it is my second favorite electronic album to come out this year, in case y'all were curious from earlier. Full circle moment. This is my number 2 electronic album, just all around, because it's very chill, but at the same time it's very driving and very, very trappy and very and at times it's heavy, and he has features from Duckworth, but this song in particular, Naomi Wild, gives off like this very like illustrious vibe. Like I wouldn't play, like, if somebody was like, prove to me that electronic music is good, this is a song that I would play for them, and not to be like, look at, like, there's so many different moving parts to it that it's super intricate. And it's another, and I'll get to another song later on that kind of does the same thing, where it kind of like throws you for a bunch of loops. And Medicine kind of does that, where he'll like, you know what you're expecting from him, and it still sounds very like a Medicine song, but it kind of encompasses like a couple of different genres in there, and that's really, really nice. So Medicine, Every Time with Naomi Wild.
Then we're gonna go into some more straight up lo-fi instrumental here. Had to introduce some more with it. There's this guy named Dry Hope who I found one day while listening to that. What's that whole lo-fi? Yeah, Chill Cow.
If you know what this looks like, you've been going through some shit lately.
Yeah, like any of those things where it's just like an anime drawing of like some
Chill
kind of
Cow's
animal.
back. Did you see that they're back streaming again?
Yeah, I did.
I was so happy. I on YouTube, they're like lo-fi music streaming. I was like, they're back. They survived.
Yeah, so I found Dry Hope on them initially. This song actually was the first one I heard. It really stood out to me. And then from there, I've gone on to save and add many of his musics and EPs to my playlists. But I feel like it's really hard for me to choose a specific lo-fi artist that I really wanted to put on here. But Dry Hope has been doing it for me lately. And this song, as I said, it is that music, that radio just runs and it's just kind of washing over you. Like I legitimately paused what I was doing and I was like, yo, who is this? I really feel this vibe. So, man, feel the vibe. Listen to some Dry Hope.
Feel the vibes.
Exactly. That's why he belongs on here.
All right, next we have the horniest song on the playlist, and that is Faded by Jew. So Jew makes house music, but I call it dark house music, if that makes sense. Like music that you would, Blade Runner 2049. If you've seen that and like understand that energy that comes from that movie, this is the same energy, but just in a song. Like there's a lot of tension in here, which is why I call it the horniest song on the playlist. Because like it just kind of does something from you where it's like it's not necessarily sad but it's not necessarily happy, but it's very like menacing in a way. And it's got this very driving like house beat to it. It's been remixed I don't know how many times, but there's nothing like the original. Because it does get kind of like hype and bouncy where you're kind of just like moving to it. But in a way, it kind of like deters from dancing a little bit, but not in a bad way that you would want like dance music to deter from dancing. It kind of like makes you like walking into a club. This would go perfectly in any John Wick fight scene. Like if he's just like walking into an area about to just mess some people's whole days up, and they put this on like just like in the background and like low past it a little bit, I'd be like, this fits perfectly here. So Faded by Jew, the short version of the explanation.
And then we go into Khalid, who I think a lot of his music is just very, very relaxing. I will listen to his albums on repeat without realizing it, just because it very much like it calms me down. But with some of his music, it can be kind of like the fun chill. I wanted to go for more of like the sadder chill. American Teen, his first album, is much more sad chill than hype chill. And Coaster is my favorite song from that album. Probably one of my favorite songs of his as a whole. It's just kind of sad, but it's also similar. It's like a therapeutic sadness, right? It's all about him like breaking up with somebody and he's just kind of coasting through life. And this song kind of just helps you coast through life too, of just like relax.
I constantly also forget how young he is.
I know, right? He's younger than us and he's so talented and successful.
Yes.
But I think I would listen to all of his music, you know, if I'm looking for something to calm myself to. But Coaster really stands out because I mean, I wasn't really on the Khalid train very much. I was kind of on the opposite end, to be honest, for a while. And then I listened to Coaster and I was like, yo, what is this? Like, this is so different. And then from there, that kind of spawned my love of him from there.
That's really nice. I love how we went from like the horniest song to like the saddest song, in my opinion, on here. But then we moved into Adventure Club and Firestorm featuring Sarah Diamond. And this song is perfect. I will never say anything bad about it. It is very trappy and it kind of like, it builds to a certain point and then it kind of gives you this like, I'm going to call this like this whoop, 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 whoop sound that comes in the drop that honestly took me very much by surprise because I thought it was going to end up being this like super like, you can trap arms to this like type beat. But it was very much like a sit down and relax and like have a serious conversation with your family and your friends about things that have been bothering you. And like, if you need to like, it's also a very, very encouraging song. Because I was like, I'm your firestorm. Like it is like, you can't stop. It's like one of those like, you can't stop me vibes to it. But in a very low key kind of way. And I think it's a song that's also a very good introduction. Like if you were like trying to introduce somebody and get them into like, heavier electronic music, this would be a song where I'd be like, show them this, show them that one. I'd be like, take this song, kind of move them forward. And so that's really, really nice on here. It's also just this album, this cover art, which I'm not gonna blow up right now, but this cover art is absolutely really, really cool. It's from 2016, which consistently makes me forget how long um, Adventure Club has been around. They just did a really cool stream for Insomniac, and they played this, and I was like, "Hey!" at like 2 a.m, trying not to get noise violations in my apartment. But it's a really, really good song, so definitely listen to this. And if you need something to like show your friends, be like, "Hey, maybe you should listen to more EDM." Definitely throw this at them. It won't scare anybody. It kind of like it can bring almost anybody into it, unless somebody's just stubborn, in which case you might need new friends.
So Octave Minds, I don't remember how I found them. I think I found them because on their album they have a feature from Chance the Rapper, which is the most random thing ever on this song called Tap Dance, but it's so good. But that didn't fit the vibe for this. But preface, Octave Minds is a collaboration project from like 6 years ago between Boys Noise and Chili Gonzalez.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know, right? And the entire thing is, besides a tap dance song, is completely like just like instrumental. And it's just supposed to, and I love the idea of like it's an octave thing of it's supposed to just be like music for your mind, essentially, is the whole idea behind it. It's all good. I struggled to pick a song that would be the best one for this playlist. I just went with Anthem because it's one of their best known songs besides Tap Dance. And it's towards the early part of the album and it sets the tone for the rest of it. It's a piano beat and then it just is, you kind of just get lost in it, right? You're just washed in it. You're like the Tom and Jerry falling asleep and floating up a staircase to heaven kind of vibe with it, basically. Yeah. It's super slept on. Like no one else I've ever met has ever listened to them before because, like I said, they made one album and it was very much under the rug. So I encourage everyone to go listen to it. But Anthem be different. It's very good.
It's a really good song. I didn't realize that was Boys Noise.
I know. You have to read the description on like their Spotify like bio to like get that basically.
Okay, so after we get through Anthem and Octave Minds, we get into another more electronic music, but definitely more chill and more like instrumental and poppier kind of electronic music in Davin and Wild Youth. From his album, the song's called Bloom, and this song is really good. He's another show that was supposed to come to Saturn in Birmingham, but got canceled because COVID-19. I was really excited for it because he uses a lot of guitar in his like live performances as well, just like in the song. And this is a song that is a very, very feel-good kind of future-based vibes to it. So it's another song that like it's another very much like an introduction into electronic music kind of thing. Like if you listen to this, you will be like welcomed in and like, okay, this is cool. I can get down with this. And then so after that, we have the song Potions by Slander, Said the Sky, and JT Roach. Slander, of course, is from one of the Icon Collective graduates. They make music. They have an incredible song that almost made this called Superhuman, but I didn't want to use necessarily like their most popular song. Because also Superhuman gets kind of hype. This gets kind of hype as well, but it's a much more like a ethereal, like flying through the air kind of hype, not like a jump up and down, punch your friends in the face kind of vibe like I've talked about before. And as I said, this guy who is one of the best up and coming producers, I don't want to say up and coming, he's because he's made it, but like he's a part of Millennium's like kind of ilk. He was a part of his band, but he makes his own music and his live performances consist of a giant keyboard too, which is really, really fun. So it's like another guy that plays live. This song is absolutely nuts. It's definitely got those big like future-based vibes to it. So definitely check this one out, and it fits if you're trying to introduce your friends into electronic music.
So my first introduction into music that was that was just instrumental, not lyrical, that was not classical, was Tycho. Like he came up on a playlist one day. It was probably Joe Cow. once again. And then I just fell into the wormhole of it and have loved it ever since. And that's what inspired me to initially start my own study productivity playlist that I've mentioned before. And this song Hours is from Dive, which was the first album of his that I heard. And this album does not miss. I was torn between this and Awake. I think those are my two favorite projects from him. But I wanted to go back to like the nostalgia of listening to Dive for the first time. And Hours, like really similar to Octave Mind's Anthem, sets the tone for that album very well. It really encapsulates his entire sound, at least in his earlier halves of his career. There's something about it. It just will wash over you. It's 6 minutes long. You won't realize it. It'll be like 10 minutes over and you're like, yo, wait, it's done. It's just one of those songs. It's a trance. Like literally it's a trance.
Yeah.
It had to fit perfectly on this playlist. It would be incomplete without Tycho. If I chose any one of those 4 or 5 lo-fi artists I've said, I would choose Tycho, even though we bashed on him a little bit in last year's Wrapped 2019.
Just a tiny bit.
Just a tiny bit. It's totally out of respect because we have high expectations of him because he's a legend.
Yes, absolutely. And I like how you said trance, because that was going to be a main topic of my next song. So the next song is called Slow Dive by Seven Lions. And Seven Lions, you can see the cover over here and more examples of just how beautiful and gorgeous his cover art is, which is just the way he does things. Like he makes music that takes the best of trance and the best of like dubstep and trap and like other bass musics and puts them together and forms this beautiful, beautiful connection. And like, I remember I showed you the song earlier. And what did you think of the build into the drop? Was it what you expected from how it starts?
Not like fully, because it's also interesting that it's like a sing song. There's lyrics and stuff to it. And then it comes in with a drop. And the drop wasn't necessarily like hype. It was there's that backing sound with the dun 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 dun. There's that sound is so intriguing and is both exciting yet also relaxing.
Yeah. I remember I chose this specifically for the drop because it's like at first it doesn't seem like it'd be a song that would fit on this playlist, but then it like the drop hits and then it like pauses for a second and comes back and it's kind of like gets you like down low, like shoulders up, like kind of just like moving through like a jungle or like on vines. Like it feels like the movie like the most, like if you take the most beautiful parts of the movie Avatar by James Cameron, like some of the nature, and you put the like if this is what the theme for Avatar would be if it wasn't classical, I would choose this. And it because like it feels like you're just kind of going through like these different environments, or if you play Destiny, it's like going through the infinite forest. Or like when you see Mercury before the Vec show up, like it's something like that. That's probably the dorkiest reference we have made on here. So.
Yeah, I love it.
But it makes sense though. Like that's what it feels like. I'm about to make a Destiny compilation video of my terrible gameplay. But yeah, so Seven Lions, definitely check out. If you have a chance to online, you can watch his EDC Las Vegas live stream set that he did with Insomniac. And that kind of takes plays everything from dubstep to psytrance. If you don't know what psytrance is, it is a form of trance that's just like and it sounds a lot cooler than what I just did. I made it sound stupid, but it's fine. And it's really, really cool. And he's a really, really good guy. And he's been consistent for years and years. Like he's another person that doesn't put out bad music. And it's so distinctly him that you won't be able to miss it. So following that, we get into the Body by Loud Luxury and the Dirt Caps remix of it, which I wanted to find. I love the song Body, but I wanted to find like a chiller remix of it that wasn't necessarily like the big room house, like party and hang out kind of vibes that the original has. And this definitely does that. It takes like the best parts of like the hype versions and put its own little swim on it where it's like, nice, like you're swimming in a pool, like there's like 6 of your best friends are out here, this is nice. And like it gets trappy at the end and that makes me happy, but a very like low-key kind of trappy, not like boom, boom. Like it's like a very like just kind of flows into it, and like it goes from like that 4/4 like kick hi-hat snare thing into like just like a boom, 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 and then it's like, oh, that's nice, and it just makes you feel kind of good and happy and fuzzy on the inside. So that's Body by Dirt Caps by Loud Luxury.
My last song on this playlist is Nana by 1975. The song is sad, honestly. It's just, it's literally just him talking about like the death of his like grandmother and his mom. I forget she has some sort of mental health condition, I think. But I was like 1975 have a number of acoustic songs that, while extremely depressing, are very calming and therapeutic. And towards the end of their second album, here's a title: I Like It When You Sleep, for you are so beautiful yet so unaware of it. Geez. There's a whole stretch from, I'd say, the last.
Like them and Panic at the Disco compete for longest titled album name.
It's so true. I'd say the last stretch of this album, like the last 4 or 5 songs, all kind of mesh together to form this one overall song that is just very just chill, very calming. I love studying to this music like when I was in college, kind of thing. And out of those 5, like Nana is the one that stands out the most. It's either that or the last song on the entire album. But it makes sense too that we put this so far down in the playlist because it's the second to last song of that album. It's the second to last song of this playlist. It's a great closer, you know, a great last, like, let's wrap this thing up kind of vibe, before the cherry on top, which is the next song being there.
Lovely Day by Bill Withers, the legend. One of the, I would put him in like the top 2 greatest songwriters of all time. And I will fight anybody that tries to come at me and for that. This song is just like the epitome of hanging out by the pool with your friends and family. Like it's just, he says, when I look at you and I know it's going to be a lovely day. Then he held Lovely Day out for like 6 years. But this song, R.I.P. to the GOAT, Bill Withers, just first of all. But like this song, other than like Ain't No Sunshine, which I think is the greatest song of all time, just kind of proves how good, how like low key it can be and still have like greatness in you. Because the song is not like necessarily the hypest song. It is not necessarily the most intricate song. Like it is a very easy song to sing. It is a very easy song to learn how to play. It's just, and it's been used by so many people. Like there's an American Dad episode that's based around this song. There's like, I've seen this in movies. I've seen everywhere. I've seen tons and tons of covers of this. I've seen people just randomly like at their shows, like leaving like just like the playoff music for their show has been Lovely Day by Bill Withers. I just felt like it was a nice way, because we started with Feel the Vibes by BJ the Chicago Kid. And I feel like Feel the Vibes is the modern, more hip hop version of Lovely Day by Bill Withers. So that wraps up the playlist. So it's 40 songs, 2.5 hours, so you won't get bored. I would listen to it straight through first time and then shuffle it, but shuffle it if you want to. There's not really a bad song on here. So I hope you like it. We worked really hard and put a lot of thought and time into it, even though if we couldn't explain it well. I know I fumble over words sometimes. But we worked really hard on this, and I hope you like it.
Yeah, once again, you can listen to Wrapped Show playlist on Spotify only. It'll be in any of the description boxes for wherever you're listening to this. Speaking of which, thank you for listening or watching, as we are on YouTube as well. You can catch our Zoom recordings there with our nice little virtual backgrounds. But thank you guys so much for listening.
Speaking of which, nice Firewatch background, by the way.
Thank you. I was waiting for you to notice that.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw me notice it earlier, but you like moved to the side. I went, hey, that's nice.
Because I was like covered, and then I went like this, and it was like tower. That's Firewatch, which is like.
Just, I know we're a music podcast, but it's part of music. But
yeah,
if you ever want to just have a good game that you can knock out in truly 8 hours, download Firewatch, and just get ready because we downloaded it. Was it like $5 on PSN one day? And we're like, hey, we should get this game Firewatch. And so we started and we're not prepared for the emotional distraughtness that followed this game that doesn't take that long to complete. And also the soundtrack is amazing.
The soundtrack is so good. The lighting is so
good. Once I get my record player, I'm going to buy that on vinyl and like have that be like a mainstay because that soundtrack is absolutely insane.
I would say Firewatch is like pretty much the equivalent of this playlist, right? Where it's emotional, but intense in a good way. Yeah, intense at moments. But then it's also just very much like a mind-numbing experience of just walking through the woods.
Yeah.
That's it. Like it's a great video game, which is why I use this background today. But you can see this background on YouTube if you watch us on YouTube. Anywho, plug. Thank you all so much for watching. We will catch you guys again very soon next time here on Wrapped.
Something went wrong. Peace, love, and happiness.